Hi,
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you today?
Cool.
Thanks for reaching out to Neon Jazz.
Thank you. Thank you for doing this.
My pleasure. Where are you located?
I'm in Taiwan, east coast of Taiwan.
Okay. So how's
Yes.
Taiwan today?
It's it's interesting because we are surrounding by like ongoing and left like typhoon in between typhoons. So
Oh,
we have like thunderstorm during the afternoon. So we have a short blackout,
oh
but
wow.
it's fine right now. Yeah.
Okay. We'll
Yes.
we'll try to get this in for sure. Well, it's great to meet you. Thank you for sending over the music and taking some time out. And I want to start everything by asking, how did you get through the last 3 years with COVID?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, it's wow. It's like a huge journey for me because when it started, I was really at the center of this whole like pandemic because I was at the Bronx when first we have the breakout in New York, and it's actually spread it from like the North Bronx, and I actually lived there. Like everybody started to have that virus is like just a couple bus stop away. And you know how crowded in New York and everything just shut down in a week. Um, so yeah, so I was in the Bronx for the first year of the pandemic. And and I mean it's actually it's a very special experience because you never get a chance to be that quiet in New York, you know.
Yeah.
So finally get a chance to spend some time with the family, and and then started to study and read things. That's for the first part of the pandemic. And then I moved down to New Jersey, like South Jersey, just right next to the Delaware Memorial Bridge. So it's like, so close to Pennsylvania and also Delaware. And we had a really nice time down there because we are closer to our family friend, and we finally get some time with our family down there. And that's also the reason I can really start this recording project. And at the really last part of the pandemic, I moved back to my country. I moved back to Taiwan.
Okay. So
Yes.
Blackstream Autumn is the new album. And I'm curious, how does it feel for it to be coming out now with the world waking up? You're in a different space. How does it feel?
It's I mean, I feel like oh finally I'm gonna get to the almost like last part of this whole recording project. And I also get a whole year to, like that the music sits and and it's very different because when I recorded it, I was trying to make sure everything get done before I move back to Taiwan. And then I'm so busy with the family and all moving things, and I feel good. Like after a whole year, I get back to the last part of this recording project. Yeah,
So, what are you hoping the listener gets from this album?
this album.
Yeah.
Uh, I think is this like really unique approach or touch of the music that I experienced like in my 8 years living in New York, and also like my heritage Taiwan. And especially I feel like you can hear both the influence from like my jazz journey in the United States, and also like my own like um Taiwanese, descent in the Alton album. Like it all really comes out, and also my classical background and my training in Queens College, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Do you miss America? Are you happy to be back home?
I feel like I'm so busy to get chance to miss United States because like I have two girls, one is 4 years old, one is 6 years old.
Sure.
So I'm moving with them and make sure like they are okay with their new environment, and then also find because I've living a con I left the country for like 8 years, so now I have to kind of like this whole summer I have my tour in whole island, so it's just being so busy. I don't really. I mean, I of course I miss it a lot. I miss the freedom, I guess, but I also miss my hometown too. So I feel really weird. It's like I got two different type of homesick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
interesting. Uh,
yeah.
how did this jazz journey begin for you in life?
You mean for me, like how did
Yeah,
I
like when
start
you were
it?
young, when did you get into jazz? How did you decide to, play the violin and how did all that happen?
It's actually happened quite later in my like I graduated from Taipei University of Art, major in classical. And then after that, I just feel like I want to search for something. And then I started to just teaching and traveling all over the world. And but I think I really make up my mind like, okay, this is the type of music I want to go next. Is when I first listened to Antonio Hart playing at the concert hall in Taipei, National Concert Hall. And that's the first time I listened to people playing live. It's just it blew my mind because like I can't never imagine like somebody is gonna have that kind of energy in a classical concert hall. And then so the next year I went to the music camp that Antonio Hart uh, came like for every each summer. And then I applied to school and went to New York.
So, what do you like the best about being a professional musician?
The best part,
Yeah.
I mean playing music every day and really connecting to the people, and also you have a world that it's so pure. Like it's just kind of it's connecting to everybody, but it's away from all these crazy things going on in the world. Yeah.
Who's your favorite jazz musicians? Who have been the biggest influences on you?
Wow. That's a hard one. I would say Eric Duffy.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, he's wonderful. Um, so why do you love jazz?
I love jazz because so like I think like just jazz itself, the freedom, and also like, but it's also a way to communicate with other people. I think that's like the part I really love, and also being always being very innovative, is trying to be, through that path of talking to people in the band or an audience, and also learning how people do it before or now, and it's just so you just feel fresh every day just by playing jazz or learning jazz.
What's the scene like in Taiwan?
It's it's a really small scene, but it's actually everybody is playing different type of jazz. That's can we put it that way? Yeah, and it's I think I'm blessed because this is like a really small but very friendly community. So so I work with different people and talk to different people. I actually have a jazz podcast, and it has a really weird name. It's called the Jazz Sideman Podcast. And so before I moved back, I started this and interview people who's working with jazz musicians, but not we interview a couple of real jazz musicians, but mostly we are interview people who are, you know, dealing with booking or recording, you know, and then trying to have this, like, people have a more complete like view of this community. So
Excellent. So if anyone wants to listen to your podcast, they want to pick up Blackstream Autumn or learn more about your live shows, where on the web can they go to find all this out?
if I mean for my music, you can go to Bandcamp for sure.
Okay.
Hsinwei Chiang, Hsinwei Chiang. And for the podcast, I mean, kind of unfortunately, because it's in Mandarin. I mean, we tried to do a couple episodes with both language, but mostly in Mandarin because we really want to make sure that people who speak or speak in Mandarin can understand what this community looks like. But you can also go to any podcast platform and just type in the Jazz Site and podcast. You can hear the program.
Excellent. This has been wonderful. Thank you so much for reaching out to Neon Jazz. I'm glad that we had the chance to connect. Thank you for giving me exposure to your wonderful music. Best of luck with everything.
Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you. Thank you.